morning. Welcome back. So I have an unexpected long weekend and not much to do because half of our house is packed up for the move. So I thought I would take this chance to finish and start / complete a couple more books that I wanted to get ahead of this month, because the month of October I'm basically just reading horror. So I'm going to talk you through my reading plans, and it's currently Thursday, so I have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. My normal work week runs Sunday to Thursday, but it's a little bit different, so I thought I would take advantage. So give me one moment. I'm going to walk you through what I'll be reading. So first I have Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. I have about 100 pages left of this one, so I'm hoping to finish this morning. I'm going to make a latte and just get done with this. And then I have a couple of options. So I've been quite the mood reader lately, which I normally am not. Normally I can just set the books I want to read and just read them. I don't really have a problem with it, but I've been really into mood reading lately, so I've given myself quite a bit of options this weekend because I'm really in the reading mood anyway. So let's go through those right now. In anticipation of the fourth book in the Stormlight Archive coming out, I am thinking about rereading the Mistborn trilogy. And then I have Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. This is book number 4, I believe. Book number 3, and then the novella that I read at the beginning. Then I picked up To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. Sorry, we had a bit of a loud truck going by. So I picked up To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. This is his first venture into adult literature. I believe it's sci-fi, so very beautiful. Then I have Keepers of the Lost Cities, Nightfall, book 6 in the series. These are always really, really quick to get through. Even though they look a bit chunky, they read really fast, and really enjoying the series and kind of want to keep going, but kind of don't, because after 2 more books I will be caught up in the series. I also started this work week Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. I'm only maybe 50 pages into it. It's good right now. I really like his writing style, so I could keep going with this one as well. He never disappoints. And then yesterday I picked up a couple of YA books. So first we have A Lot's Way, which is an Indigenous story, beautiful cover, about a girl who loses her brother, I believe, and it's magical realism, if I'm not mistaken. So that one looks really good. And then we have Lobizona, which is an Argentinian folklore-based YA fantasy. So I actually don't know much about this one. I think the cover alone explains itself, but love to support Latin authors, so I picked this one up as well. So these are sort of my options after I finish Elantris this morning. So I'm gonna make a latte and start reading. Hello, so I have finished Elantris and it is only 9 a.m. So I have a full day to get started on more of these. I'm going to take my dog downstairs and then pick out what I'm gonna read next. So I've taken the dog out. I have gotten changed and ready for the day, but that basically just consists of comfy sweatpants, and I'm going to choose what I want to read next. So I just started filming. I have chosen my next book. I'm going to read A Lot's Way. It called... Did we kill that? That's okay. It called out to me. Take the dust jacket off. Pardon the Noise My fan is going. I'm going to tack into this. It's only 300 pages, so it doesn't look like it would be too difficult. 350 pages. I should be able to finish it this afternoon. Hello, so I am about 40 pages into A Let's Away. It's 11, so making pretty good time. I stopped to have breakfast and hang out with my partner a little bit. So I'm at my desk now. I'm gonna get back to reading. I might choose another book to kind of bounce back and forth off of, but I'm happy right now with what I'm reading. I'm really enjoying it. It's different to what I thought. It's a lot more, sorry if you can hear the window's open. It's a lot more magical on the magical realism spectrum. But that's not a bad thing. I'm really enjoying it thus far, but they've started talking about vampires and all of that, so really interested to see where it goes. But my initial thoughts is I'm really enjoying the family dynamic of it. It's really been a while in YA that I don't see really healthy family values and tight-knit families, as opposed to like just either toxicity or the family just being dead and the main character is an orphan. So I'm enjoying that right now. I am going to choose something else to pick up so I can kind of bounce back and forth throughout the afternoon. I'm expecting to get the bulk of my reading done today and tomorrow because Sunday is game day. So I have a couple of games I'll be watching that afternoon and evening. So I want to get the bulk of my reading done today and tomorrow. So it's been about 20 more pages. I'm just about on page 70. And I want to say a couple of things I've really been enjoying about this book. One of the things being that Ellie talks about her house and how she has a lot of books there, and how her dad has a lot of books by famous Indigenous people or about famous Indigenous people and biography. And then she goes on to say that then there's an entire shelf of her mom's favorite genre, which is paperback fantasy. And I just thought that was the most poignant and hilarious thing I've read in this book so far, that they specified paperback fantasy, because honestly, that's so true. It's such a different animal, and I really enjoy that they took the time to specify that. But I also wanted to talk about the fact that our character is a 17-year-old teenage girl, and I love the vibe that the author decided to take with her. Like, she has a male best friend. She continuously talks about the fact she is not interested in boys or boyfriends or talking about romance, and she was just speaking to a character saying that someday I can teach your oldest kid how to wake the dead, Ellie offered. I don't plan to have my own. And can I just say, it is so refreshing to read YA where I don't know that the protagonist is aromantic, but I think we finally have a female protagonist that is just not boy crazy. And there's nothing wrong with boy crazy, but I definitely think there's a lack of representation in YA, that our female characters usually tend to have a very, I shouldn't even say boy, a romantic centralized plot. And it's so good to see Ellie just brush it off and say, I'm not interested. Again, I don't know if she's aromantic. I'm a little over 60 pages in, but I'm interested to see where the plot goes, because even if she stumbles into a romance, which I would find a little disappointing, and normally I would be flooded with thoughts of, like some teenage girls, just boys or girls or whatever preference, both. But it is nice to read this and for her mind to be on bigger things. She's talked about what she wants to do outside of high school. She's talked about her goals, her aspirations, her dreams, and she's talked about her family and how much her friends matter to her. And that's just so nice to see. Okay, so remember how I said I was going to pick another book so I can bounce back and forth? Well, instead, I got to page 185, so I have about 140 pages to go. And my friend called and I talked to her for like an hour and a half instead. So my partner is going to run out and get some snacks. I'm going to keep reading and try and get myself back on track because it is now 2 o'clock. I was hoped to be finished a lots away by now, but always have time to chat to a friend, especially in COVID. So I'm going to give myself maybe like an hour and a half to finish this book, and then I'll start another one. Still happy with my progress because it's 2 p.m. On the first day, I finished one book and over halfway done my second. So, also, I'm wearing a shirt. I just realized it looks like I don't. I am. Okay. Hello. It is now 4:35 and I have finished my book. If you can see, yes, I've been crying. If you're a dog person, this is absolutely the book for you. I wept tears of grief, and then I wept tears of joy, and I could not recommend this enough. I think it was perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. But I'm going to go wash my face, probably blow my nose, and then get started on my next book. And hug my dog. Okay. So I have now composed myself, washed my face. What I will say, Alatsaway was fantastic. It followed through with, it was a girl's adventure, really great family values. One thing I really enjoyed about it was the fantastical element. One, her parents were already in it because it was a fantastical kind of world. But when she would tell her family something that wasn't ordinary, she didn't have to spend half the book trying to prove herself. They just believed her, which I feel like you don't really get in YA a lot. I feel like everyone's always like, they're just kids, don't believe them. But her family really believed her when she said things. And then, of course, she had us a ghost dog, and I got really scared for the ghost dog there at the end. So there were tears of grief, and then there were tears of joy, and I just thought it was a really heartwarming story, and I would 10 out of 10 recommend. It was really great. But I've had enough crying for a little bit, so I'm going to pick up Air of Fire by Sarah J. Maas, and I'm going to do a companion book as well. I'm going to pick up To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, and I reckon I could get through both of these the rest of the evening and then tomorrow, and that will leave Sunday to maybe read something that's a little bit more lighthearted. Maybe I can read Keepers of the Lost City, or I can restart the Mistborn trilogy, but we'll see. For now, I'll be reading these and I will update you with what I think. I'm really excited for this, Paulini's first journey into adult writing. I used to absolutely love Aragon when I was a kid. It took so darn long to come out, though. I remember Aragon came out maybe when I was in elementary school. Maybe it was, I think it was junior high, actually. End of elementary, junior high, and then the last book did not come out until I was in university. So I know he's sort of starting his own sort of like Brandon Sanderson Cosmere-esque sort of universe with this novel. So I'm just hoping he can keep up a Sanderson like pace and just every couple of years or few years give us another book. And I'm excited to see how his writing style has grown as he has, because I actually didn't wind up reading the novella installment of the Aragon series. I don't even remember what it's called, but I did see it in the bookstore and I wasn't really interested. But I'm interested to pick this up. We all know sci-fi is not what I'm great at. What I will say about this is it is deceptively long. So when I picked it up, I thought it would be like 600 pages. This baby is a thick book. It's like 850 pages, so that'll be interesting. And then, of course, Sarah J. Maas, I tend to just fly through. I'm excited. So I'm going to keep reading. Maybe I'll go sit on my couch, because I feel like all I've done is film in front of here all day. I'll probably start rereading at 5. I'm going to get more water, put on a bit of chapstick, hug my dog for a bit, and then get reading for the night. I do also want to mention at some point tonight, I am going to stop and play a bit of Animal Crossing. I saw the update that is going to come out next week for Halloween, so I'm going to get a little garden ready so I can plant some pumpkins. I'm going to try and do that tonight, if not tomorrow morning. Alrighty, it is 6 p.m. and I'm getting a little bit eye fatigue now. So I think what I'm going to do is take a shower and maybe listen to an audiobook. I have a few that are borrowed from the library that I probably should start on. Actually, do you know what? Let's do a little tour of that. So if you don't use Libby, that's what I use for my library. So I currently have like quite a few books that I haven't even really started. I've heard really good things about this one. The hold just came in for this one as well, and for Braiding Sweetgrass, but I do have Between the World and Me, which I have Libby on my phone, so what I can do is, well, you can see, way back in April, I tried to read Air Fire, but I am reading it now, and I got about 40 pages in. Was kind of reading slow, to be a bit honest. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start Between the World and Me and maybe just see how I feel. I don't really want to go on my Switch because my eyes are quite tired as it is. So I think I'll just listen to an audiobook and maybe do some yoga or tidy a little bit. Hello. I apologize. That's stuck. I can't get it down. I had a bit of a reading fail last night. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I know where my time went. I decided to hang out with my partner instead. So I only read 70 pages of this, but the morning is early. It's only 8:15. I've already showered. I've put on a face of makeup because I'm hoping to film a video at some point today. I guess I can give a little update on this. So I'm on page 79. Taking a turn, but I don't even know if it counts as spoilers at this point. Like, this book's been out so long. We get to see a bit more of Selena's past, and there's some new characters being introduced, which I'm personally excited about, because besides our main heroine, not really interested. Not really interested with what the other characters are doing or saying or anything like that. So I'm gonna read this morning. Not all of it. That would be impressive. That would be great, but probably not. And And then at some point today, I will start To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. I am going to play a little bit of Animal Crossing, and at some point today, I have to pop to the market to get food for our dog because we make all of his food. And that's all I can think of right now. Yeah, so I will update you once there's something to say, really. For the next little while, I'm just going to be sitting on a couch. I might put on Hamilton in the background because I was listening to it when I did my makeup this morning, so maybe I'll put that on in the background while I read. Hello, so I read a quick 50 pages of Air Fire while I was having my morning coffee. I was also watching a little bit of Prue's Project, Reagan, and she mentioned, I'm kind of watching some of her older stuff. Don't mind the mess, we're in the middle of a move. So she was mentioning that she had just started reading Keepers of Velocity. Like I said, it's one of her older vlogs, but it really put me in the mood to read the next in the series that I'm currently in, book 6, Nightfall. So I think what I'm going to do, oh my goodness, hold on. Not much better, to be honest. I think what I'm going to do is read Nightfall while I'm reading Air Fire and put To Sleep in a Sea of Stars on hold, because even though these are quite chunky, so this one is just about 800 pages, they're super, super easy to get through. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a quick pivot, read Nightfall while I'm reading Air Fire, and save To Sleep in a Sea of Stars for tomorrow. So like I said, tomorrow's game day, so I'll be watching a couple of games during the day. So if I can finish Nightfall today or Air Fire and then have one on the go along with To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, I'd be really happy with that. And I think I might just take Mistborn as my commuter book to work. So I feel pretty happy with all of that, and just wanted to give you that quick update. I couldn't be lit worse right now, and I apologize for that. Is there a way I could? No, it's not great. Okay, so that's the quick pivot I'm going to do, and I'm really excited to get started on this, actually. I've taken a couple of month hiatus on the series just because I am nearing the end. I currently have with me Flashback, and then I am waiting for the paperback for book 8, so hopefully, I think that comes out in November. I'll read this one this month, and then for October, maybe read book 7. But November is a big month for a lot of anticipated reads. I know the second of Rage of Dragons, of course. The 4th book in the Stormlight Archive comes out. So quite a lot of anticipation for the month of November. But I'm going to get going on this. Air Fire is good. I'm quite enjoying it. Selena's just during her training, so I'll update you when there's more to say. Hey, Gordon. Hi. Oh. Hey, buddy. Hello. So it's been a while since I've checked in, to be honest. It is now 7:30. I took a gnarly nap, switched into one of Dawn's shirts and some PJs, and we had dinner together. We somehow wound up watching the Hobbs and Shaw movie. It was on TV. It all happened so fast. So here I am 2 hours later with zero regrets. So I had a vegan burger for dinner, and that was really nice. And then John made us some cookies to go with the movie. So I'm full. The night is young, especially because I wound up sleeping a couple of hours. So I am already over 100 pages through Keepers of the Lost City. So I feel pretty good about what I've read still, considering how much time I haven't been reading. And I am 130 pages into this one. So if I can get a couple of really good hours of reading, this book does read incredibly fast. So I am a little bit off track, but I can probably still knock out another book this weekend and be able to juggle between To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. Is that what it's called? Yeah, it is, I guess. And balance one of the two. Probably finish Nightfall. And I have to do a couple of pre-orders tonight as well, because Legacy, I found out the paperback comes out next month, and then book 8.5 of Keepers of the Lost City comes out in November. So honestly, November is going to be a star for content. I have so many books I'm looking forward to reading, but enough's enough. Done procrastinating. The only thing I really have left to do is maybe make a tea before I get started, but I bet I can swindle my way into getting Dawn to do that for me. He is off in video game land for a while, so shouldn't have too much trouble really getting some good reading done. Hello, popping in with a quick update. So it's Sunday afternoon, and I actually don't think I updated you guys this morning. So I was able to get about a good chunk of the way through this last night. I think about 200 pages, which I was happy with, but I think I'm just going to do a quick roundup of what I've read, because Sunday evening is dedicated to football in this house, so I'd better kind of give you guys a summary now so I can just quickly tie up the end of my night. So Friday, I read 150 pages of Elantris as well as Alatsaway, which I was very pleased with. Today, I was able to complete Nightfall after starting it yesterday and get 150 pages through Air of Fire. So right before filming, I did a quick little tally, and that is 1,422 pages. So I'm really happy with that, and the reading won't stop just yet. I'm going to grab my book and go sit out in the living room where my partner is going to play some video games with his pal. So I think I will just have a little read while he does that until it is game time at 6 o'clock. So I still have a couple of hours to keep reading, but I thought I would film that very quickly, and then I will pop back on to kind of wrap up and give my total page count for the weekend. And yeah, I think I'm just going to keep going with Air of Fire. Popping back in to very briefly say that I realized I haven't given my thoughts on Air of Fire, and I will say that I am struggling with this one a little bit. I think it's a lot of training sequences, which I'm not necessarily the most into, I would say. So we watched the Heat and the Celtics tonight, and of course the Heat came through and we should be in the finals. I'm very excited. And then we watched some football, and then I really will say I did find myself struggling. It's not like it's gonna be difficult to get through Air of Fire. I just hope it picks up a little bit more after this book, because I am struggling a little bit, and I know it's necessary for Selena to train, but I just hope it picks up. Checking in super briefly to say I made it to page 300 in Air of Fire, and that puts my page count up to 160 extra pages. So what would that even be? 1,580, I think, or 1,582. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to lay in bed now, and I have Libby on my phone, so I'm going to get started on one of the ebooks I have taken out from the library and just call it a weekend. I think I wrapped up my thoughts pretty well. I thought A Lat's Away was absolutely amazing. Keepers of the Lost City just keeps getting better and better, and now all of the young characters are growing up and getting older, and Sophie in the book says something along the lines of everything's getting more serious now, and it used to be crushes and jokes and fun, and now everything's a bit more serious. And it just made me feel so many things. It reminded me of getting older and how it's not all fun and games anymore. Oh, it's never easy when you start middle grade and you follow as they grow up, and you kind of have to make that journey into adulthood. I think all the characters are about 15 and 16 now, so still babies in my eyes, but it's always so hard. You start to feel like this maternal sentiment towards the characters, but I absolutely loved it, and I'll be picking up the next book really, really soon. I have it on my TBR shelf, and I have pre-ordered Legacy, I think it is, and pre-ordered 8.5, which comes out in November. So I'm going to hunker down in bed now and maybe start reading The Southerner's Guide to Slaying Vampires, or something like that it's called. Thank you so much for watching. I will be seeing you guys soon with a new video. Hopefully, I'm thinking maybe I'll take you guys along while I rebuild my bookshelves in the next place. Let me know what you've been reading down below. There's just so many books coming out for November. I'm so excited. So I think that'll be a really big month for content. I hope you guys had a really great weekend, and I will see you in my next video. Oh, it's very good, isn't it? Oh.